Hey everybody, Jim from Jim's Holiest of Coleus here. Humbling. I'm at 9,995 subscribers. By the time I produce this video, get it launched on YouTube sometime today, I'm sure I'll hit the 10,000 mark. But it's just a number, but it's extremely humbling. I really appreciate everybody who subscribed to me. You know, I've been pretty sick the past 10 days. I haven't been on Instagram or YouTube at all. Just starting to get back on my feet. Got a lot of work to do. Spent all day yesterday potting up Coleus, so I figured let me shoot out a video to everybody. But thank you very much to all of you who subscribe, and especially to those who always say hi. Although if you don't comment, it doesn't mean I don't appreciate you any less. It's a humbling experience to have people who really appreciate. I do this for a number of reasons. Obviously to pass my love on of Coleus and how easy it is to grow them. It's really exciting to do. I have my farmers market that I take place in Bayhead here. My eBay store where I sell my seeds in the fall. I'm going to try to sell them. I'm going to try to harvest enough seeds next year to continue to have some in the spring. See what I can do. But also to donate money to organizations such as the USO, Wounded Warriors, Morris Animal Foundations, Tunnel to Towers. You know, I see these commercials on TV, as you all have, these warriors, these people these heroes who go in, who defend this great country. We're not perfect here, but we do a lot for freedom, and that's why so many people try to come in here. I don't want to get into politics, but that's another thing that motivates me to do to give back to these important organizations, and by you watching, you help me fulfill that. Thank you for getting me to 10,000. Again, it's a number, it's a humbling number, and stay tuned. We're gonna launch it to now. I'll show you some of the Coleus I potted yesterday to help you get along. So I did film a lot of this yesterday, so it's a little redundant. So, but thank you again, everybody, for subscribing to Jim's Holiest of Coleus. We have a long season ahead of us. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So take care. Thank you. Hey, buddy, Jim from Jim's Holiest of Coleus. I haven't been too active the past week or two. Been really sick, but really under the weather. Just starting to feel a little better, so I need to catch up a little bit. Pot up some more Coleus. I hope everybody is following along, doing well. Again, I get a lot of emails, Facebook, Instagram. I see some really beautiful Coleus going on out there. People purchase seeds from me, or people are just growing their own, doing really well. Some really beautiful colors. You know, when you're growing Coleus from seed on your own, rather than going out to the store and buying one, which is fine. Not everybody has the time or patience, so some people feel they don't have a green thumb. But what I love so much about growing them from seed is the variations that I get year after year, and I'm always surprised. There's always a little something different, and that's what really drives me. So when you plant a lot of seeds, or if you purchase some seeds from me and you look at the photos of the pictures of the Coleus that maybe the seeds came from the mother plant, they're not going to be exactly like every single photo of Coleus that you see on my channel. Very close. A Kong is a Kong, a Jitters is Jitters, but there's always going to be a little variation, mutations or what have you. And that's where they get that's why there's so many varieties of Kongs, because but there's universities in Florida and so forth, South Carolina, I believe, that grow many Coleus, and there's so many new variations coming out. My friends over at Rosie Dawn Gardens have so many different ones coming out. Those are patented Coleus. The Coleus I grow and sell are non-patented, illegal to propagate Coleus, like Kongs and Jitters and so forth. So I just potted up a bunch of Coleus. Don't stress out. This is supposed to be relaxing, and I'm guilty of this too. For all the years I've been growing them, I always feel like maybe I didn't do something right, or this season they don't look as good as last season. I'm trying to remember. And over the years, things start to blur, especially when you start getting older. But anyway, don't stress out. Don't think your Coleus or you're doing something wrong. If you have any real major issue, drop me a message on Instagram or here. But just let things progress. I'm doing this for myself. I'm going to watch this video and I'm talking to myself here as well as you, or mostly you. But anyway, I'm going to pot up some more Coleus because I want to get these seedlings in pots because they really need to get into pots to really thrive. Again, do not put little seedlings in big pots. Put them in nursery pots. You don't want little roots to be overwhelmed by a lot of soil. So just remember that. So I'm putting my Coleus in 3-inch nursery pots. I usually put 1 or 2 Coleus seedlings in a nursery pot. Let them grow and develop, and then I separate them further one more time. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So it seems like a lot of work, but it's a system I use. So, and see how you're doing as well. And don't think that you should be at my point or I'm at your point because you're in a different location. Temperature changes, differences in soil, and so forth. There's so much to it. So, all right, so have fun. All right, so let's take a look at some of these Coleus, these little seedlings, and stay tuned and follow along here. Jim's Holy as a Coleus. Okay. All right, so excuse my voice. Like I said, I really got hit over the past week or two. It was a really tough weekend, but I'm getting back into it. So here's some that I planted about 2 weeks ago, I guess, or a week and a half ago. They're coming along pretty well. You know, once they get into pots, I got my worm castings. I mixed it in with the Miracle Grow potting mixture and some Osmocote. So I sprinkle a little of this in there and I mix it all up together. So it's a nice environment for these to grow. They're really going to start taking off. And here's some I did 2 days ago. So they're coming along. And again, because I grow so many, I only have so much space. I have to put 2 in a pot. And then later on, I'll separate them when I create my baskets, my hanging baskets, and my pots for my farmer's market. And here's some I'm doing today. They're tiny, but I want to get them into pots. So this is a good size. I mean, you can see these are clearly Coleus. So this is a good size to separate them. They're tender, but they're also pretty. They're pretty tough little fellas too. So you can gently separate them and pot them, get them into pots, and then they'll start to really thrive. So as you can see here, I still have a lot of Coleus still growing here. So we're letting them, and again, I do this on purpose so I can manage potting these. Now I really want to get these into pots, so I'll probably get to these today. But I have them growing at different rates, again, so I don't have to worry about having 500-600 Coleus all coming to size at the same time. I can't pot everything at once, so it takes time. Definitely want to get these in pots, but this will be over the course of the next week or two. Okay, and just one other note. I'm in New Jersey, so this is where you really have to relate to where you live. The magic really doesn't start to happen until the weather starts to really warm up. Coleus are warm weather tropical plants. So the sun, of course, we're at daylight savings time. We're marching towards summer. The days are getting longer. The sun's out longer. The Coleus are going to react to that. The warmer weather is on its way. I promise you, here in New Jersey, in my experience, once we get sustained 65 to 70, 75 degree days, things are really going to start to move. And that's when I'll start to get into hardening and getting these out into my greenhouse outside, that's when they really start to grow. So things may slow at first. Your Coleus may, like these, again, as I mentioned in my opening here, I'm such in a hurry, impatient. I want them to grow, and they take their time. So they're a little slower. And again, this is when you're doing this at home. You're at home, I'm at home, I have a greenhouse outside. But once we get them out into the greenhouse, they're really going to start to kick in. And I don't move these out. And of course, these won't go out for another month. They'll be bigger. They'll be set. The roots will be set in the soil. They'll be acclimated to these pots, and they'll be lots more mature. And they'll be ready to be hardened. And then I'll put them out in my greenhouse. And I'll keep careful watch over the weather. I have a little heater that I will keep. I'll put that on if temperatures, if I get a day in say April, late April, that maybe drops to 45 overnight. I'll put that on to make sure that things stay very warm. But they really need 65 to 70 degree sustained temperatures overnight to make sure, no danger of frost is really what I'm trying to get at, and cold temperatures, especially when they're small like this. But hardening is something that I get into later, just looking ahead. But my point is these will progress indoors, albeit slower, and the real growth will happen once we getting into May. Things will really start to grow, and hopefully you'll be following along here. So keep track, do what you're doing. Any questions, leave me a comment here, and we'll have fun together. So pass my channel along, get me to 10,000. All right, before I show you the ones I just potted, take a look at this. These are the Jiffy pods, but take a look at these here. This is where we have about 6, 7 Coleus here. Now I know I mentioned you don't want to overseed much. I do. I've been doing this a long time. I do overseed, but look at the roots already. So these, Coleus, their roots are really aggressive, and but they're tender, but they're pretty strong little fellas too. So when I separate these, I'm going to tear a little bit. I may tear some roots a little bit and so forth. There may be one that I discard if it really looks like a runt, but I need to separate these because it's not good. At this point, they're crowded, and yeah, it's my own fault. I overseeded them, but this is a system I've done over the years for me, and so I really want to get these going into pots where they can thrive. But the roots are pretty prolific. They're pretty aggressive, and they'll really start to take off. And once you do separate these and get them into pots, the roots are they're gonna settle in really soon. You just make sure you have water and good potting mixture, and so a little bit of fertilizer, time release fertilizer, and they'll really set quickly. Coleus, again, they're tender at this, but they're very aggressive, and they will settle in very, very well in your nursery pots. Once you get them going, forget it. The fuse is lit. Oh, and by the way, mistakes happen. Things happen. Don't get upset. Here I was, again, they're tender. While planting, this one is that beautiful Kong red. I broke a little leaf off. Don't worry about it. It's not going to kill the plant. It's just going to replace it. So don't worry if it happens. It doesn't happen too often, but if it does, just remove it. And don't worry. And also the cotyledons on the bottom, some of them are gone. If they break off while you're planting, don't worry about them either. Don't worry about it. Just continue doing what you're doing. really smaller ones. I did pot some smaller ones. I really wanted to get these potted. So as long as they're manageable and the true colors are coming in, get them into pots. And again, if you have one Coleus growing per Jiffy pod, you don't need to separate them. You don't need to open up the pod. You can just drop the pod with the lining, with the little netting, right into the center of your pot and water. So you can see it's a little washed out, I guess, with the grow light. So we'll call it about 150 Coleus right now. Oh, and by the way, in case you're wondering, as far as tools go, I use this little, I guess it's like a shrimp cocktail fork. I use this because I can actually, if I need to get it in between, like when I put these little seedlings in, if you can see here, whoop, I can actually get it in between the stem and pat it down a little bit, or use the back of this. It's very tiny, and I can pat down gently to secure the Coleus. So sometimes some of these seedlings can be a little loose. So I like to use these little things. Just an idea. Just an idea. Okay, everybody. So I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everyone's Coleus are well on their way. And again, don't get upset. Mistakes happen, accidents happen, but nothing to worry about. Very hard to kill these little guys. Once you get them into your pots, wait. And if this is your first year especially, it's really exciting. Don't worry about if they look a little washed out. I mean, yes, true, too much watering will yellow them, but get used to what the pots feel like when they're well watered. When you first put your seedlings in potting mixture, unless it's right out of the bag right away, it feels moist already, then you know it's pretty well watered. You still want to give them a little bit of water, but get used to what a nice full pot feels like. And if you're not sure, dig down an inch or two. If it feels dry, then put a little water. Skip a day if you're not sure, but don't worry about color yet. It doesn't look bright like the ones in his videos. Still lots of time to grow and color to develop. So don't worry about it. Things will really start to take off, especially if this is your first year, first time growing Coleus from seed. It's really exciting. You never know. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what. This one maybe it's a Kong red, but wow, look at that little red dot. What's that going to be like? And that's what's so exciting about them. Jitters too. Other varieties, there's always a little different. Colossal marbles, some of them are green with black or pink speckles. Some of them are dark purple. They may have green speckles or pink speckles or white speckles. You never know. So don't worry about what you may see on video. Have fun. Any questions, you know I'm right here for you. Let's get us to 10,000. Although that's not my main priority. I'm so happy about it, but it's not a main priority. I'm humbled by it. But thanks for watching Jim's Holiest of Coleus. Let's have lots of fun. Lots more to come. So take it slow. Jim, take it slow. And everybody out there, take it slow. Enjoy. Lots of Coleus, lots of season left to go. We have so much more growing. It's just the beginning of the season, so take it slow and enjoy. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care, everyone.